Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiana Lauren and today I am going to be making this absolutely delicious sweet potato pie made from scratch here in my kitchen, and this is the perfect recipe to make for Thanksgiving. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and save this video for later, and let's go ahead and get into the recipe.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with about 3 medium sweet potatoes, and this is more closer to about a little bit over 2 pounds of sweet potatoes. And then I'm just going to poke some holes in them and make sure that you are being very careful not to stab yourself with the knife, and then this just helps it to cook faster and more evenly. Next, I'm just going to add on some olive oil, or you can use any type of oil that you want to, and then you're just going to rub these all over the sweet potatoes and make sure that it's nice and evenly coated. And then you are going to bake these in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour, or until they're nice and tender to your liking. Then I'm just going to get started on the pie crust. So I'm just putting a little bit of flour down here, and then this just helps to make sure that the dough does not stick to the surface. And I have 2 of the pre-rolled out pie crust. I'm just going to take those apart and then put all of that together and form it into a ball, and then kind of knead it together for a little bit. At this point, the dough is kind of cold, so it's not coming together as I want it to. So I just put it in the microwave for 10 seconds, kneaded it, put it in there for another 10 seconds, kneaded it, and put it in there for another 10 seconds and kneaded it. So it'll be this consistency once you've heated it up for about 30 seconds and 10-second intervals, like 3 separate times. And then you're just going to coat that in some flour and make sure that your rolling pin is also coated in flour to prevent the dough from sticking. And then we're just going to go ahead and start rolling that out. And after you finish kneading your dough, you're just going to take your rolling pin and start rolling the dough with the rolling pin. This just helps it to pick up without the dough tearing. And then you're just going to place that over your baking dish. I'm using a 9.5 Pyrex baking dish for this recipe, so make sure that you get the size for the recipe so that all the ingredients and everything will bake evenly if you're going to follow the recipe. Then I'm just going to go ahead and start shaping the crust of the pie, and I did not cut off the edges, so make sure that you keep the edges for this pie crust. And then I'm just using my fingers to kind of sculpt it the way I want it to, but please feel free to do the crust however you want to. And after I finish shaping the crust of the pie, then I'm just going to take a fork and start poking some holes at the bottom of the pie crust, just to make sure that it doesn't bubble up while it's baking, and to kind of help the inside of the pie cook a little bit better. Okay, so now that the sweet potatoes are finished, and we're going to go ahead and start peeling off the sweet potatoes. So I'm just going to peel all of that off, and I recommend roasting your sweet potatoes because you'll keep all the flavor. The sugars in the sweet potatoes will come out, and you won't have to worry about your sweet potatoes being watered down and having excess water in them. Okay, so I have my food processor here. Now, to me, this is the best way to get your sweet potatoes blended and smooth, and to speed up the process for any sweet potato pie recipe. And you won't have to worry about trying to blend everything together and remove strings and stuff like that, and it'll come out really nice and smooth. So guys, make sure that you use a food processor for blending up the sweet potatoes. And if anybody tells you not to use a food processor, we're not making baby food, ignore them. Go ahead and use your food processor. And I will say that it should take about 1 minute to 2 minutes to have everything nice and fully blended, and then you can take your top off in the process of it and kind of pack it down, smooth it down so it gets nice and smooth. And when it's finished blending up, it should look just like that, and then you're just going to add it to your mixing bowl. And if you are interested in making this recipe, just make sure that you check the description box below for the exact measurements and cook time. So I just added in some butter, white sugar, and some brown sugar. I'm using half and half. You can use regular milk, you can use evaporated milk, you can use sweetened condensed milk. Whichever one you want to use for this recipe is up to you. It's just not going to be my recipe if you don't follow the instructions. Then you're going to add in your cinnamon and nutmeg, and you can use some vanilla. I'm using imitation because I think imitation has more a vanilla taste to it, or you can use vanilla extract, whatever you want to do. And then I'm going to add in some lemon juice, and I think lemon juice gives any type of dish that has cinnamon and nutmeg a really good flavor. Then I'm adding in some maple syrup. I think it tastes great, and if you don't want to put it in there, definitely skip it. And then you're going to combine those ingredients together. I could recommend using a hand mixer, which I will switch to later on in this recipe. And then you're going to mix everything together until it is completely smooth and all of your ingredients are nicely combined. And then I did forget to add in the allspice, so I added in allspice and some salt. Make sure that you taste this as you go and adjust the ingredient measurements to your liking. And then you're going to add in 3 eggs, and then you're going to blend that all together until everything is nice and smooth. Then you're going to add it to your pie dish. You shouldn't have anything left over, and then you're just going to make sure that everything is nice and leveled out and smooth. And then you can add on some egg wash. I'm using an egg and some half and half, and I just mix that together, or you can skip the egg wash. It really doesn't matter for this recipe. And then I'm just taking a pastry brush and adding that to the sides of my pie crust. Okay, so what I'm about to tell you is very important. Before you put your pie in the oven, you need to let it cool off and then let it reheat back up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you're going to bake that in the oven for about an hour and a half. Just make sure that you really watch this pie and make sure that the crust is nice and golden brown, and that if you take a toothpick and put it in the middle, it comes out pretty much clean, not like a I guess you could say a batter like consistency. But make sure that you cook it to your liking and make sure it's done all the way before you serve it. And I also recommend letting this chill in the refrigerator overnight, just to make sure that it is nice and set before you decide to go ahead and cut it. So I'm going to cut me a slice and add it to my dessert plate. And then I'm just going to add on some pecan pie whipped cream, and I got this from Target. They still should have some, but if they don't have this flavor, they should have some type of other flavor. And this product is featured in my previous fall shopping and food review video that I posted a couple weeks back. So guys, make sure that you check that video out. And then I added some cinnamon on top of that, and it should be ready to serve.
Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and taste this pie to see how it turned out. Get a little bit of that whipped cream. It's so good. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend you guys try this recipe. And if you guys enjoy watching this video, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified when I post my new videos. And share this video with someone that you think might be interested in this recipe. And thank you guys so much for watching.